Well, the window I'm staring at is quite different from what I usually see. It's the same splash screen, but there's a lot of black around the border, as if it's supposed to be replaced with by the image of you.
What are you seeing?
Um, well, like Bamboo turning to look at the screen and saying that, you know the way, but there's a black border above it, below it, and mostly to the right, the left side, where your face would normally be.
I don't know what you are seeing then. If I do this, you can see me, right?
Yes, but in a smaller window. It's like confined to a little corner. I don't know
That's
why that's
your
not.
side. You should click on it or something, but on my side it should be probably the same. Let me try to fix that. Is there anything different?
Uh, no. I wonder if I. This is a pop-up. Maybe it is. If I click here. No, no, it's not a pop-up. I see that option. Hmm. I don't know if I change video settings on my end.
I mean, I didn't change anything, so
Well, anyway, I still can see you. Just a little smaller, and that makes the text smaller too. Oh yeah. Do have something to offer you.
yeah. What that is?
You might want to check if this is copyrighted, but it shouldn't be, since you were able to play
That's not how it works.
uh,
That's not how it works.
other videos like it earlier. It's
I
excellent for the village. Up ahead, it's the same song you're able to play on a short loop, but this one is 15 minutes long.
then it might actually work.
Yeah, on a longer loop too.
But okay, it has been long enough. It has been for
Sure.
almost 4 minutes of us
Go ahead.
trying to fix things. But yeah, hello everybody, I am Tashi, and this is Quill. Who has some troubles with this random one, and I have to use this one, not the other one. So, we are down on the ground, and one of the Earthbound has met our main characters. He's showing them the way. That's how we left off. When they found a nation of victory. Let me open up the academy. And I use this one. This is the kind of Evermore. Alright. Somehow for some reason they forgot to add copyright on it, but we will add it in the title as well. Before we start. we are using that. Speaking
Might be, it might be a little bit early for it, but you can play it now if you want.
there we go. Margaret had been a member of one team that had attempted to negotiate it with the Earthbound before, and she remembers the cold attraction they got back then. As usual, Lodamar flew to the Earthbound camp and used their instrument to direct a zero in on the left side of the Earthbound. Lodamar knew that those below are nobody, and as such, they don't build permanent structures. I mean, that's what nobody means, usually. However, when Lodamar arrived before, only one member of those below was visible. The rest was somehow very well hidden, and that included their structures or other evidence that they were ever there. It must be some people need. It was as if one member they encountered was traveling solo. They only had one mission with her team too, and that was to tolerate this intrusion, right into the region for a minute, and otherwise keep doing what the Earthbound have done before, and that was to turn the remainder of my visitors. It's very random, right? It's the same 2 minutes, put one after each other, not even wait so that it's the same room. But this time, however, is relatively different. At first, Margaret thought it wouldn't be. Meeting one member at a time was par for the course. And last time, instead of turning them all away, he leads them all to the rest of his time. She had never seen them up close before. The only thing she ever had to this encounter was horrific possessions made by early recording of this time. And it was a pony with a side mount on her head. And saying, "You are our only chance." As for the rest of the TARDIS crew, this is obviously their first encounter with this time as well. Despite that, Olga noticed how the rest of the party here didn't seem to understand the Earthbound better. Not members of it in particular. Every member of this team had not been part of the TARDIS journey for long. Of them, Sophie has been alone yet, but even she hasn't seen too many alone foreign birds. Where she did, she had encountered fantastical, sometimes scary, and wholly different alien life forms. Both seem to be the most common among them though. That was a fact that SP the Doctor noticed either. He was called them the human replacement. I mean, yeah, the humanoids were the most common in the Doctor universe as well.
Yeah.
I don't think humanoid.
The show had to work with its constraints, and humans would be the easiest to hire for the show. But as the budget steadily increased, they were able to get more elaborate costumes.
Yeah, they even made the Daleks into humans. And it's one of them. What's for Halloween as something? Which is also funny because they started off as humans. Or humanoids. As I later learned in the first episode. What I was the first foreign word they invented. Even at police too. Compared to this time, there are some important differences. Unlike what I was this time does have a few members of Parasite among them. They have yet to encounter any unicorns related to this time. But it is said that a few do travel among the Earthbound. They stand noticeably in a wider variety of fur colors with a hide compared to any water one. That is true for those above as well, but this type seems to have a higher variety of main colors, including multiple colors and distinctive main shapes. I mean, yeah, we know they have been mixing with Parasite and Magi, and Unicorn as well. The ponies in Motor 1 were more like Earth pony color. Not Earth pony, but ponies on Earth.
Yeah, it's toned down, not bright pastels. And they lacked cutie marks. Both are basically the symptom of the same thing: lower magic in that world.
Yeah. I actually know, but I've been noticing an amazing discovery, and that is the fact this is the first time ever since he joined the journey of the TARDIS that he has encountered another point in time who actually do have that cutie marks. In fact, the find was seen there for quite some time to him, due to the fact that those cutie marks are disguised by time of the truth waiting around it. I mean, the water world was a different planet altogether. This is the same
Right.
planet as Equestria.
It's maybe not the same continent, but it is definitely the same planet.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
different
meant.
time. Yeah.
Which I remember I told that this is a different planet as well, for some reason. But then you pointed out and I realized as well that, yeah, if it was a different planet, then why would I know about where it is?
Right.
Once again, the answer is TARDIS. He doesn't have to know where it is. Over time, he started noticing a pattern to that as well. It tends to be the older and more experienced members of this tribe that have the most time at the tools. That is especially true with the very senior members of this tribe. Going in him out, the younger the tribe member is, the fewer the tools they have. The youngest fours, who don't have even their cutie marks at all yet, are also the same ponies, who are devoid of any time of the tools. There are three young fellas among them, somehow, who shouldn't be here. I assume they get the tattoos like with every achievement. But this is my first hunt. This is my first thing.
That's probably a good guess.
You know what? I would probably think of them
Have you seen,
like badges of scout, Girl Scout.
have you seen the movie Moana?
Yes, which is right now really for why for some reason. I know the
Weird.
reason as well, but
Anyway, there was a character in there that was kind of like that, but similar to Cutie Marks, his was naturally acquired by events that occurred across his life. So it's like his body tattoos was telling his life story.
I mean they
One
were
of them was
literally telling because they were literally dancing around his body.
well, one of them was a sentient tattoo that was actually interacting with him.
But he is also a demigod, so
Mm-hmm. Yep.
who knows if the tattoo was sentient or he just made the tattoo move.
Well, he was arguing with it as if to suggest he had less conscious control over it.
I mean, we have seen this one do that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm actually realizing at this time open the verse each individual's history directly to that on the hand. Literally, yep. Every important in the best of the choice they make, or important accomplishment that they do. They gain a new type of tattoo, and somehow symbolically represent the discovery of the accomplishment. It's as if they can expand the initial cutie mark and build around it. They are wearing a living history in a pictorial form, and somehow they all have the same time as a tool that says my first chaos creature killed.
Well, since the Chaos Beasts were unique in their abilities and forms, if they actually did have a conquest over a specific one, they would probably have a tattoo that represents that beast instead of any other Chaos Beast.
Hmm. I mean, if you look around that, you might actually find. Because they are still living. That means they definitely need to fight for them.
This is probably a tribe that would give a name to each Chaos Beast, too. While the other society might categorize them as a serial number, they actually the ones that, they kind of have a different perspective. Thanks.
You know what's gonna be funny? When they literally arrive at the time and see that there are some chaos beasts among them that are literally just pets.
Tamed?
Tamed.
That'd be interesting.
I mean, they know the way.
They do. We know the way.
You know, that's all the time to that you're assassin of the initial kitty mark. Then grow like a plant. No. If that's the case, then the tribe has ever greater reliance and usage of kitty marks than any native expressium in the future. I mean, yeah, they are much closer to the nature than any other pony in the future. In the present.
Right.
This discovery is initially made by Pandora, but it is a young but not fully formed member of this time. A teenager, approximately, who only had a kitty mark, and not much is military on it yet. But Pandora notices that he has time to more fully possess what this means. He passes a second message to the rest of the team, to let them all distract, and he not inform them, but at the of his party, find this information very interesting and noteworthy. None of the exception of Margaret, who doesn't get no message, was very familiar with the concept of kitty marks. Although she did ask about questions several weeks, and it traveled. That means he actually counts Margaret as part of the party.
Yep. Yep.
Wait, so he literally told Margaret about his skill power? His ace in the hand?
He probably did. They traveled for weeks together, and it could be advantageous for her to be aware of that, so he doesn't have to explain that in an urgent situation later on. And that also tells her that she can pass a message back to him, in case that becomes important.
Yeah, I would probably count that to myself, by the way.
Well, I can see why. Whatever she knows probably would be passed to Commander Varaxis. That's why she's here. And they openly
Oh
told
wait,
him that.
I remember they told her when they said no technology. Because you can
Well,
still use this.
that's true too. I mean, if she obeys and avoids the technology, then that delays her report to Varaxis for sure.
Yeah.
Unless I don't know, you do attach notes to birds or something.
I mean, add numbers here. This team is the only one interested in this fight. Hi! Hi. Hi.
Maybe that means your mother's home too now?
Yeah. Yeah. None.
This tribe is likewise is where he began. Left off.
This time is likewise facilitated by the fact that there are new and unfamiliar visitors, also a kitty mark, with the exception of Margaret and Dr. Kelly. They are not shy about their feelings either. Some of them, especially the young, approach gays closely and with the touch mark, and a few even touch it without permission because they are not accustomed to asking. They are raised by the mentality that all things are shared among the tribe equally. And this is a very fine mentality. That is true, plus Margaret. Also in the time gossip about what those kitty marks might represent. And the limit continues, the guess it moves quickly. And gradually get more accurate, which suggests a great deal of practice. Interpreting symbology. I mean, they would probably have a trouble with interpreting line those symbology because that's something they don't use as a technology, and they don't have.
Yeah, I can see your point on that. But there still might be hints in an image like that that they can
But,
build some
but,
theories upon.
but yeah, they might ask what that thing is on your flank, and then when she said, "Oh yeah, we do know how to make little chunk of iron point to north.
Hmm.
Just looks different." And not to carry in this, he can remind the party that the intense energy of harmony and enters life in this area of the world in every possible way, including maximum lifestyle. So this project might be centuries old. That's probably not even regarded as unusual either. In the same energy of harmony also makes them all very difficult to kill, even by unnatural means. This is also true for those above, and indeed every single plant and animal in this area of the world and time. Probably even microscopic life forms live significantly longer, unless they are harmful. No, they live longer if they are harmful as well. I wouldn't say that this is an exception.
It wouldn't be harmonic then,
Yeah,
and that's the
because
kind of that's the kind of thing that's enhanced, sort of.
this is the thing again, like you can take out like something that you think that is harmful from of the animal history because it still has a purpose.
Hmm.
So,
Yep.
like if you took out the flies, then many of the birds would die. If you took out the bees, then many of flowers would die, and many of trees would die out because of pollination.
True.
So, yeah, the harmful is a very personal interpretation. I don't know to carry point this out, and because there might be some important psychological aspects at play here. I always have to think if it's psychological or physiological.
I know. Yeah, the spelling's pretty close.
Almost every individual in this time is probably old and wise enough to get old, to the fact that the majority of the support team is far younger compared to them. The majority, because there are some majority in here.
Hmm.
As such, there is a possibility that the party might be regarded as in a similar light as a fool, with the low exception of Margaret and herself. I mean, yeah, look at them, they don't even have that cutie mark. I mean, Margaret doesn't. And, wait, does Candy have a cutie mark?
No.
Yeah, so,
Which is
the,
yet another similarity between their two societies. Which the odd thing is that's still true for Margaret, even though she is in a hyper magical environment, and one that's harmonic too, instead of artificial. Yet she's still lacking her cutie mark.
Yeah, even though they are the all eldest in the team, most Margaret and Kelly, I would assume.
And yet the Earthbound, my God, do they have their cutie mark? It's even to a greater degree compared to modern equestrians.
They have unlocked two cutie mark talents.
Yep. Hey, what if their magical talents reflect that too? Like they can do their talents to a significantly greater degree than modern equestrians.
They
It
might,
would
in
almost
fact.
it might kind of match their longer lifespans anyway. They just have more time to practice their art, so they get just that much better at it.
Yeah. In more time, they have more time to know the way.
Right.
In reply, they do give the silent, neutral nod of appreciation to the Kelly for sharing this information. Also, I can kind of imagine when they are touching the cutie mark, they kind of have a flash in the eyes, seeing the tattoo appear on their body as well. They might see what's on there.
Well, possibly that might be a part of the way.
Probably mouse to keep that in mind, by otherwise saying nothing further on the subject. There are lots of polytized men living in very close quarters to each other here, and they don't seem to bother by the fact even a tiny bit. In fact, that seems to be a source of delight and comfort to them. Because of that, they seem to have no sort of boundary in a physical sense. They are galloping around and climbing all over each other. They are even doing so to the visitors, but to the least degree, from the other side of caution. From them aside, from tired men who regard the party rarely, from a bit of distance. They seem especially wary of Margaret and Dr. Kelly, for some reason. The vast majority of the time is regarding this visitor with fascinating delight instead. There are a few who even try to offer cooked food, and if strongly curious how the visitors will react. Now it can be three different. Normal food, it can be good food, or it can be a Mr. Soup X.
I think I get that reference.
Yeah, I can bring
Oh,
that up.
you got a picture for it along that? Speaking of pictures, lately I've been thinking about I need to find a new source for web search for pictures. The one I've been using, I finally noticed a pattern to it. There's been less and less pictures, but particularly of any copyrighted material.
Hmm. There
Like
you
My
go.
Little Pony. Exactly. That's that was what it was called. It was even. Is that a video or just a GIF?
That's for you.
Okay.
The
Fatality. Yosuke, we knew him well.
visitors are led to the target to the largest tent within the time. Once inside, they notice spacious but also crowded interior, except the exit center of the tent. Now we can tell that it is not a TARDIS. Because we know that it's a TARDIS, not in the tent. Then they see all the three ponies, and all of them are very elderly. One of them has a very shaggy mane. The other is very
Something
what's that?
doesn't sound right about the way you read that. Um, the one on the visitor's right is a green mare,
Yeah,
and
I
little
didn't
bit.
say that. I didn't say that. I just said it.
Okay.
The one of them has a very shaggy hair. The other is
Okay.
very
Oh, I get it.
normal, and
So
the third one has a bright ribbon in her hair.
Okay.
Now you know what I mean, right?
I
It would
do.
be funny if they...
At first, I thought you read that wrong.
No. The one on the middle side is a game map, and that will be the first unicorn they encountered in this time. The one on the left is the white golden stallion as pony. The one in the center is painted by a color as pony bear. The fancy address of gold wine and feathers that marks this one is the most likely chieftain of this time. All three of them have white manes though. Although there are some hints in the it used to be another color. So not gray, but white. So if someone has white, I imagine no white. Is it white or is it more gray?
Actually, every iteration of Snow White I've ever seen, had downright black hair. The name was actually probably reference to her two things actually: her skin color and her personality.
Yeah, the Snow White was not named after her hair. She was named after her fair skin.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's supposed to be like a personality of pure white snow too.
That's why it was funny, this thing. That didn't mess up.
Anyway, just remember when you resume, you were done with that paragraph.
When they made this thing, this
I
is not
haven't
so
seen it,
white.
but I'm aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it was funny that, yeah, do you even know what you are making casting for?
Got a good point. They probably should have changed the name.
I mean, I don't know, I didn't watch that one. I probably should.
In some way, it might be educational.
No, I'm not sure right of any of the shows because of the casting. There are some shows that are watching because of the casting, but
Fair enough.
like the main reason I watched all of the Sonic movies was because Jim Carrey was in it, and he actually carried the show. So
Which explains your reaction. Yeah.
one other thing that is very significant on the bear in the center is that she has milky white eyes. What color was she again? Faded by no
It's faded violet. Yeah.
okay, so
That's her hide color, but her eyes are white. And her hair is white, but in some of them there was hints that it used to be another color.
yeah, when you said that milky white eyes, I imagine total vision.
Yeah. I'll tell you the truth, I did too.
Either way that she is blind, I mean, it can be one of her ancestors, for all we know. Yeah, and also it can be just alternating body as well.
Yeah, finish that sentence, it might interest you.
Either way that she is blind, and she has an ever-flowing mane. One of the princesses. I mean, no, but that is literally showing that it is an overflowing medical allergy. We seen that in the show, that kind of thing, that's a thing.
Yeah, in just a few examples, I'll tell you one that's not an alicorn, was Mistmane.
Yeah? And
As a unicorn, though, she was a little exotic. She came from a tribe that has a more curved horn, and a little bit taller and pointier too.
I mean, one thing that comes to mind is the Karen. They have curved horns as well.
They have what?
They have curved horns as well.
Ah, yeah. Also, it kind of branches out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume that the flowing mane is one is a show of her power and significance, but on the other hand, it is clearly defending herself from overflowing of money. The letter is
Very,
sleeping him out.
very likely, yes.
Because in your magic system here, as well, I think they are literally using their own mana, which is inside, right?
Yeah, I remember the princess's mane stopped flowing when the world stopped becoming magical,
Yeah?
and immediately resumed that trait as soon as the magic returned to the world.
Yeah, because they didn't generate mana anymore.
Hmm. So that means led strong credit to your theory.
That last trait is rare among native Equestrians to a legendary degree. In fact, the only example of a pony known for that feather in feather and sun time is Princess Celestia herself. What about Luna? I know she is trapped in the moon, but they definitely know about her, right?
They never met her.
I mean,
But
that's not a thing.
Feather learned a little bit about her, and that actually was still rare knowledge in that time period.
Why is
But
it there?
he's uh,
I mean,
I, I don't know why, but it's true. The like Twilight was the only one that was able to recognize Nightmare Moon because she read a book about it recently, but that was rare scholastic knowledge at that time.
hmm. I would probably say that it's rare scholastic knowledge, but more known about for sure.
Hmm.
Legends say that there's a pony in the moon. In roughly a day's time, the only other math who have that trait is Princess Luna. This is the first time any of them is encountering another with that feature outside of an icon. I mean, yeah, that's even funny that even Princess Mirror and Anta don't have flowing mane.
Twilight didn't either until the very last episode of the show. In theory, maybe Cadence did by then if she was still around.
And there's one more, which we know that has a flowing mane later on. And it's Florian. We have seen in the picture, in the window, that she has a flowing mane.
For what it's worth, I believe Sombra did too.
Kind of, yeah. Not fully, but he doesn't have a long hair, so.
No, he does not. That's something that almost hid that trait is the fact he has shorter mane, or it was like flowing black, almost like a flame.
Yeah, it was flowing. You can see, even though it's not a GIF, you can see it flowing a little bit.
Yeah.
This is the first time any of them is encountering another. But the
Read
picture
that.
is outside of icon, that's fine. Those in the party with a more large background, such as Father and Lang and Dr. Kelly, although there are a few other points in history, but such as say, especially Father knows because one of them is in his possession at the moment,
Hmm.
but they are very early born with it. I'm actually curious if Eastern Sage has a flowing mane or not.
He might not.
Yeah,
And
he might have been gathering it after. As King
yeah,
Somra.
he's a lot more grounded character.
Yeah. There's much debate about why this ever occurred. All the pattern that seems to be keep repeating about them is that they share a significant destiny that shapes the world in some profound way, at least eventually. So not only are they encountering the first group of foreigners with question marks, and perhaps an unusual access to them, but also a single map with an ever-flowing mane. Those above, like most of the stage, and they locked away.
Well, there might be an association there.
These observations are really having some of these non-starting gains in the focus, and understanding what is going on around here, and why the Earth world is running no above so this unlikely. I was literally joking about the Kitty Crusaders, but they literally are showing the way for these who don't have a Kitty Mark. That might be the way that they mean. Yeah, the Kitty
Now,
Mark
let me
itself.
ask let me ask you a question. If you think any of those above approach them with a genuine interest to learn and not judge them, do you think the Earthbound would reciprocate with, "Sure, we'll teach you"?
It depends on who.
Okay.
And once we can be having Gary episode again that not every teacher can get a Kitty Mark.
Hmm.
Or at least a minimal Kitty Mark. Welcome to the time in the Santa Map. I am Chief Sambahara, and I have been expecting you. Yeah, so she has a flowing mane, and she was literally named My Hair.
Okay.
Did you see
Interesting
that?
observation.
I'm pretty sure that that's not why you name her that, but I, actually I can see that being the name in a type.
Hmm.
Because they might actually name them after one of their achievements or very visible aspects.
Hmm. Yeah.
Just like in the Indians.
Oh yeah. Very much. In fact, I was kind of thinking about that too when I was writing them. They just have a similar society as the Native American Indians,
Yeah.
but in a highly magical world. So that take that into account too, and the way that would affect their society.
So now that we are established that that was not her intent, I'm probably just gonna call her Chief of My Hair.
I can imagine how you'd alter pictures like Cavalier on there.
Then we think in the back for a moment. But then she looks like she's another member of the party, and yes, another one with a single ring. There I know, okay. I was like, wait, Chief of My Hair doesn't have a ring. That's no member indicating that they all need to sit down here respectfully. They do so, including her. Other than, they look back, not in respect to the chieftain, and say, your welcome is most appreciated. What can I say except you're welcome? Please allow me to introduce ourselves. I don't even gonna try to sing it. field that might have copyright issues. I know that one is very heavily copyrighted because Disney. If somebody have, does it confirmation? My name is Eric No. Like introducing. To my left is something. I will not. To my side is for the wind. I will not. To my right is Northby, the County Senator, and finally, Morgan Weasel. I know it's Russell, but he might be a Weasel. I am Weasel. It's a very old cartoon. Didn't really watch it because it was a Cartoon Network and we didn't have Cartoon Network back then.
You do now?
I probably do, but I don't watch TV anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I believe you said that before.
We are familiar with her. But like I said, in the careful measure tool, we also know why you are here. You want to know the way. But here, lean forward a bit and start lying apparently. And I know why you are really here. There is only visible reaction to that is her eyes widening slightly. But she carefully gives her own reaction carefully measured as well. Mahara looks at
Did I really say carefully twice the same? Yes, I did. You know what? I should fix that. Carefully keeps.
oh yeah, I didn't even notice. Probably the first one you can take out. But she keeps her own reaction carefully measured.
Yeah.
Mahara nods denying, as she said, in your heart, you know what our reply will be to your official request. You refuse to work with Lord Bob. Then he figures. She feels so certain of that she doesn't even phrase that statement as a question. I mean, see why. Do you now? Goes the old white stallion. Do you really see why? He narrows his eyes and daring. I recognize your fault, but your eyes remain a bit clouded still. Permit me to enlighten you. He waits for daring to nod in confirmation, but she nods, he continued. Lord Bob would have us recruited into a military force to combat the threat of Chaos Beast, and indeed, they are a key threat to us, other forms. But did you also know that they invented the Chaos Beast in the first place? Which, points back to the confirmation that trouble is not making these Chaos Beasts, just summoning them. Because from all I know, even Discord isn't capable of getting something out of nothing. From all I know, Discord was all illusions and also summoning things from other places. And going into other places. So literally all he did was illusions and higher form of teleportation.
Well, that would include himself.
Yeah?
So much so that he claims he hardly walks that kind of distance in a millennia.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if I had the power of teleportation, I wouldn't walk too much either. No, that's not true. I would walk with the dog, so I would still walk.
Well,
But if I had to cover, then I wouldn't walk on my own foot.
there's another layer to that truth. It's beyond the fact that I can't be able to. Don't know how you put it, is not be able to disappear and reappear whenever you want. But in addition to that fact, Discord hates gravity. So he typically floats around wherever he wants to go.
Yeah? I mean, most of the main creatures don't really like gravity. Most of the players I actually want to fly. For instance, Scootaloo.
Actually, including Scootaloo, really.
Yeah, that's
She
why I'm
would.
pointing. She wants to
Yeah,
fly.
she would if she could.
I mean,
Um,
even if she couldn't, she was still trying.
the one I've seen that was the most hesitant actually was Fluttershy. I
No,
would call.
I disagree. Fluttershy was still floating around with the birds and the butterflies.
Yeah, but she tends to trot more. Um, and she's one of the few Pegasi I'm actually seen afraid of heights.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, she doesn't have to go high up, but we know that while she's near the animal friend, she's showing her two claws, not when
Hmm.
she's around the ponies.
Sure, when she's around her animal friends, she gets more relaxed.
Yeah, not that grounded. Literally.
She would sing in front of them when she's nervous to do that in front of other ponies. So it shows that she does have a different attitude around her animal friends. I guess she feels less judged around animals.
Let's judge. I have an objection for that.
Yeah, let me see you refute that. Um, I suspect I
Uh,
know who you're going to bring up, but my point is how her perspective.
I don't know how to find the picture though.
You know, trying to pull up a picture of Angel Bunny. That's pretty darn common.
No, not HMoney.
Well, he does do a lot of judging.
Why is the picture not opening?
Hmm.
Because it's downloading, that's why. You know this scene, right?
Best night ever? Maybe?
Yeah, and the gala. Man, she is very not much open to the animals at that point.
You know what? It was a little weird. Going both ways. The animals rejecting her, and then her getting very agitated about that.
I
The way
mean,
they react to her is something she was not accustomed to. But to be fair, the animals she associated with the most is around her cottage. They got very familiar with her. So that can explain the animals' attitude too. They're accustomed to her kindness, so they just act relaxed around her as well. Um, but
no,
then when
she
she
was
went to the
already agitated in there. That is the problem.
but when she went to the gala, she was attempting to befriend what the animals regard as her as a stranger, and they might have possibly had uppity standards too.
So it is he was out of school at the moment.
Sure.
So it was literally as if one of the Earthbound was going off to those above, to the Magi, and trying to befriend them.
Shall we resume?
Yeah. Most of the TARDIS crew, that's Margaret, reacted astonishment for this declaration. Though they expected to that in the individual herself, who just narrowed her eyes and gave limited to full look. Just like me as well, that, yeah, I knew that. I assumed that. That can't be true, the argued. They are, they are the ones who want to find the killer beast the most. Or at least, Commander Rex is not, the correct. The agenda of Lord above actually indifferent to this affair. Some of them might not even be aware of this beast at all. There is more to the situation than that. Herself, as she directs her face, briefly, to silent to her side for a moment, before turning to regard the party before her again. The true origin of the chaos beast does not come from this world at all. But that's trouble, right? I mean, it is trouble, but not trouble. Something else in confusion. And the machine demon doesn't come from this world, right? No, I believe she is from this world. Yes, she is now an honorary member of the Lord above, too. She asked with a curious state of her heart. It is true that one does not come from another dimension. Higher effort, but she is still more native than the one I speak of. Yeah, so this one was different dimension. The somebody among those above is a native this one. And I mean the objects. Not even this time. My aunt poignantly, and in particular. Oh my celestial, and I mean yes, I know who it is now. Wait. Is it Voraxis? There's only one they met. They only met Margaret and Voraxis, right? No one else.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only ones they've directly interacted with. Unless you want to count some of the foals that gave Derpy some soap bubble.
And then it would actually explain why the other Magi would not try to talk to him that much. But don't let the rest of us in the dark. Not very encouraged. Commander reaction. And the announced astonishment. He's an alien from another world and time. Moreover, he's not even an alien pony, despite appearances. He is forward and my hair is short. Commander reaction in the Time Lord, isn't he? Is Edward. Probably. Wait, he is half cyborg, right?
Yeah.
What if he made his TARDIS into his body?
Oh, that'd be interesting.
If he is a TARDIS himself.
They could just internally warp wherever and whenever he wants.
Yeah, I imagine him going, oh, now you know my secret. Madam, I don't see. Will you?
Just fade away.
But not making the sound, but actually voicing the sounds out.
That would be interesting, but potentially a method doesn't carry much cargo. I can't say that for certain either.
I mean, for all we know, the TARDIS itself can change shape. Right?
Yes, you can.
So it would be very much possible to make it into a exosuit.
Yeah.
What if Commander Rex is not only one pony, there are multiple ponies inside him and controlling him? He has a whole crew. Maybe he is not even a pony, he is the TARDIS himself. And the crew would have never left.
If I don't stop you, I wonder how more outlandish your guesses will gradually become.
I can go further, but no. It's fine.
He's actually a planet that's walking around.
I mean, the TARDIS can be.
Yeah?
But yeah, the second part was just joking. The first part, I guess there's scenes happening that he met his brothers, but I do believe, but in reality, I think the TARDIS is probably missing or broken or something, and he cannot leave.
Okay.
The TARDIS crew plus Margaret, but minus fellow wind, or gaps in that search material. I mean, yeah, it would be funny that, it's Commander Versus.
He gasped at himself. You don't mean that, Feather, do you? Says Feather. Say it ain't so.
Are you serious? Something else is not disbelief. I mean, there are some creatures that do that.
I wonder what you're referring to by the word that. You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
I mean, it's funny how many people are actually thinking like Smeagol or Golem.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. There's some.
Even I was like that at one point. Are you serious? I mean, yes, I should disbelieve. Actually, I think I agree. There's really a lot. It starting to make sense now. I knew there was something to know about at my own race. We had way too much in common with that technology, and our outlook in life. Too many coincidences added up. But now I finally see the connection. This is my race, only for the Doctor saved them from the Time Lords. In other words, those above are implanted by my ancestors somewhere in their history, who was here and was in the Time War. Yeah, we didn't know if this is before or after the Time War. Remember I mentioned that in the beginning. And Commander Rex is a warrior on that war. X. And I think he was telling the truth about his position. Or when like everybody saw it. That might indicate that he comes from the time near the end of the Time War. And the rest of his ponies are vastly depleted. He might even be the only sword they could spare. Aside from maybe a small hoof pool of your ancestors. Yeah, it is the same word being written down. I was literally stopping to check if it's right. He said with a nod. The doctor was oh my god. In Michigan.
Okay.
Let me see, yeah. Give me some I went up my nose. You probably heard that. Because of this, he can sweep river and the of the Poland of this time period, and for them to join this terrible war. He said, he has to convince them to join him on their own accord. And the best way to do it is introducing a new enemy. Rather him do that, he cares the skills me to scaffolding into joining his army. He also gave someone the blame for the occasion. He never designed them to carefully to make it seem like the tiny creature, the characters, was responsible.
Sorry. I need to go for a brief moment to unplug my bike.
Okay,
But I'll be back soon. You can resume reading if you want.
and someone for a part is innocent of this particular crime, rather than mind accepting the blame. All for the sake of entertainment, and not to discuss skills. The character agrees with accepting Lord's further. If you are right, then his plan is not working as well as he hoped. There new figures. Those above have added up to aloof. Care about those stats, and they probably never did too easily. Whenever they do encounter one. His predators are working with them. Much so, he turning attention to the Earthbound instead. That's his first choice, obviously, for the rest. Lulama found a lot of resources to work with. The last bad Time Lord was quite exciting, but they are merely cooperating with him. You know that? Let's force him to examine his options more carefully. Are you sure that Tablet is innocent? Are you sure? Something else will party very skeptically, at least when it comes to creation of the chaos beast. Remember, she didn't augment them once. We have been over this, son. And I go, the same individual also wonders about the approach of chaos beast. And its most critical abilities. He said. She doesn't care who blames her for this crime or not. Trouble is a relative matter, so nothing really touches her enough to worry her. Instead of that, her actions are guided by her personal motivation and the nature and the chaos spirit. Following the game by any means necessary, and not clearly. I don't think there is an official deal between her and Commander Varison, and I figured. He just got lucky that she really accepted the blame, but in the end, it still didn't do him much good. He just had to attack around them. That's why she sent us to this village here. He knew this police camp spawning him, and every individual he sent from those above. We are resource didn't expect, but he desperate enough to try to his point.
I'm back, by the way. Just to let you know.
Yeah, they are literally speaking this about this very openly. Do you guys remember that Morgan is here to report to Wexton? I mean, it really depends on what they choose in the end. They're not saying that they are saying no.
Yeah, obviously you didn't forget that fact.
Yeah. It might also explain why he's so familiar with the doctor. Nothing as she rubs her bottom chin with the hole. And also why those two individuals probably don't see eye to eye. You know what, oh. The doctor also told me that he doesn't like war soldiers. Obviously anything designed for war and killing. The commander is the right embodiment of everything the doctor despises. Also, the doctor left the war, remember? He stole a time machine and left. I mean, no. He stole the time machine before the time war, right?
Long before. I mean, he stole the time machine as early as the first Doctor, played by William Hurtnell.
Yeah, but because it's timey-wimey stuff, I don't know what happened first.
It also recently occurred to me precisely when he started having a negative opinion about soldiers. Because he used to work with them too, especially the third Doctor with a military unit called UNIT, which is some kind of acronym. I forgot what it stands for. Yeah, he used to work with the military just fine, but it was after the Time War. That's when he had a negative opinion about war soldiers. It was probably traumatizing and reminding him of a very bad time of his life.
I mean, yeah, for a long time he told that every time Lord died.
Previously, I would say he would just say war soldiers are there, and not necessarily his enemy unless they do something hostile to him or his friends. But otherwise, he can accept them. But
So,
after that, after the Time War, he was just consistently against guns, missiles, soldiers, everything like that, because it gives him PTSD.
so what I gather here is this must be either during the Time War, before the Time War, it can be after the Time War because every other Time Lord should be non-existent.
Yeah, Feather's guess, as proposed above, is it's during the Time War for Viraxis, but late into it.
Yeah.
At a point where the resources of the Time Lords are getting exhausted. But that might be true for the Daleks too.
And yet because the time remind me stuff, most are
Hmm.
gonna survive.
Hmm.
And most are
Yeah,
gonna think that the others die. Except the doctor.
yeah. The Daleks have serious plot armor because of popularity in the real world.
I mean, yeah.
They tend to be used for climactic arcs, like a series finale or something like that. And very often, the mechanicians of the Daleks are wide scale.
I mean, yeah. I still don't know why they hate him so much. Because I haven't gotten to that point.
Hit who? Oh, oh, go
Him,
read on.
the doctor.
Okay.
And yet, there's a little respect in his eyes. Or I, just can see. In common embraces when he speaks of the doctor. And I puts in. They may differ in their tactics and approach to life, but the doctor is a fellow Time Lord, which is also species gradually growing closer to extinction in this time period. And yeah, because there are less and less Time Lords, you are still one of my own.
Right.
I mean, even the doctor was doing that to the master.
Correct. That's very much true. He was shocked to find finally another Time Lord, even if it happens to be a Master. And recall also that whoever he's dealing with, the Doctor respects life. He tries to protect it.
Yeah. And eventually to a point, where the doctor seems to be the only one left to carry it. We will have no willing part in this part. If them by her up, I should go.
What? No willing part in this war, is what it says.
Yeah. What did I
I
say?
think he said, no willing part in this part.
Oh, in this war. And it is not our world. And it is not the story we chose to be part of. We will near win and react to whatever comes our way, in this case. And the occasional chaos beast, or no further. What about trouble? Serving us received accuracy. Has she mother knew as well? Ah, trouble is no trouble. Trouble is a part of the tide of fate in this world. There involves serving calmly. A role in the texture. No, I literally have to read this in um, a different voice.
Go
You
for it.
are the trickster. I cannot do that right away. But
You'll never see me coming.
there you go. You are the trickster. He is an element of chaos in this game of life. That by the express purpose of getting challenges for others to grow from. He knows and accepts that role, and in the way, he is a natural part of life. He will know. And he will let in a personal opinion to each pony, which is serving. And he always needs not to be meet an enemy. So, such things are up to each individual to decide. Looks at that full. About the effect, but about one project to her. I think I understand. Like I said in the total organization. I was encountered another individual like her, and I did it on my own accord. In my time, getting was spelling and nothing that seemed to be a effect on it. I mean, it's still spelling, but you are talking about another disease probably. I need to find the cure fast, or many people's lives could be lost. With it, I took the risk of seeking out dangerous individuals known as the Doctor, not to put it kind and the strength. I mean, this is literally what happens right now. That there is a disease spreading and nothing has any effect on the timeline because it is extinct. That's why that's why she sees a dangerous individual known as the Doctor. I mean, yeah, we can count the Doctor as a dangerous individual.
He's been called that before, yeah.
And some of the people actually, some of the not just people, some of the aliens actually think of him similar as to a Pokemon.
Alright, now you lost me.
Of Absol. A Harbinger of Doom.
Okay, now I get it.
Which is literally the same thing that, yeah, wherever the Doctor is, there is something magical happen. And not because he's there, but the Absols are the same thing as well. And they don't cause the problem. They just want to have.
I remember the doctor played by Matt Smith was facing a situation where multiple of his enemies were gathered together to lock him in this one box. It was said before that box even opened that the greatest danger would be inside.
Hmm.
Not realizing they were about to put him in that box, and with the intention of never letting it open again.
Hmm.
I recall the doctor's panic just before the door started closing. I was just trying to convince others they're making a terrible mistake.
Yeah, but you are inside, you can't do anything anymore.
Hmm.
He was also a cool reality bender too. Sphinx reality bender?
Yeah, the Sphinx from the show. In the flashback with the Pillar of Hope.
But at least she gave the rules. She said, I had to perform a series of challenges, and this was some riddles before she gave me the answer that I sold. Once again, I believe that the thing with Hunter x Hunter is very much so, if you are limiting yourself with rules, that you put yourself, your powers are gonna be more powerful. Only if you keep your own rules.
Hmm.
Which is what originally led you to this time period, I think it. So when checks were there. Ah. I thought that was a different thing, but it's actually the same. We did upstairs to go. My hair are short. My time is old. And the race is not. I mean, that is why the magic stopped going for a long time. Yeah, here. Because you know that two live down. No. You know that two live down. But she said that for a moment she seemed to get carefully around Margaret as much as all blind mare can. Now, look at Margaret. Who is the blind one here? None of us seem to climb more security, entertainment, and comfort, and therapy. I think I'm beginning to understand one of the sources of the vision here. Everybody has a place in the grand whole of life. Maria said, knowing ourselves in the grand pursuit. There are many ways to do it. We have found our own way. But you was noted too, weren't you? Saying yes with another pressing interest. Commander makes it down in the nose below, while Savannah knows above. But something changed. I'm guessing your time developed Mars around the same time. They opponent mentioned his computer over advertisement. Yeah, except the chieftain. We call it something else. But here informs another thing. Please continue. I wonder what they call it then. I mean, I was already confused at calling it cutie mark to begin with. Would they call it recording or golden life or who's up? That's it. Oh, I am no. They call it the fast folder. I'm okay. Now I go to the microphone. I comfortably. I don't know how I address this, so I will just ask it. You know what's the hope? Back down, and appeared at the chieftain's sharpening. Did you receive a guidance by the Quetzalcoatl named Mess? I'm not even gonna try to say. I remember it was Messi Zetalar or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right there.
I had to solve before trying to say it. No. I was just starting, ha! And you wouldn't have known if I didn't say it out loud. It was just a telling thing to notice her own party's confusion at that statement, and the recognition among the tribesmen. All except one though. Yes, it's a fight, but they uttered the name. There's immediate gossip among them. How they might have encountered that name. I mean, she is literally one of the knights of the round table. And yeah, we know how it happened. As you can see, yes, but here as her name, we are quite familiar with that name. It is one we highly respect, for he is the great sage. I can see a ghostly figure emerging behind Phenomenon and saying, you know what I mean, right?
I eventually got that, yeah.
The right step and to teach his knowledge to those who seek, with eyes unclouded. That is what I think. Life as a honor. That is why I am here. My eyes may be clouded, but that is exactly what I wish to change. actually knowledge because he's second to me. They expand their four homes. How may I prove myself worthy of your guys' dream? Because you know the way, right? It is among our most secret knowledge. The old shadow informs. We do not share that one lightly, especially the long-time members. For those who are, we see it as a secret rite of passage. Also, she has come. The poisoned Margaret. I'll probably Kelly as well. Have come to him. He knowledge about the marks of destiny. Those he can speak up for the first time. Or come to him seeking more knowledge about the marks already unlocked. One thing comes to mind. What is written in the stars gets written on the flesh. No shadows around it. And above, so below. We are the secret pioneers of destiny. As for that, in the end, only you can determine that. I have said that know that I respect. You've taken many steps in the journey already, young one. With map evolving, why the map is in capitalized. I don't know about a person, little pony.
You know what? You got a point there, since the other word in the capitalized.
And the compass is another. Ah, so they do know what the compass is. You went to there, to land a janet. You live the fruits of your labor, and for that, you have earned our respect, but not our past. Lord my shadow gives a certain look, which shifts them from a man to running to her, then looking and eyeing the sun. The same marks your flank, where to, young one. For any of you who decide for yourself that you are worthy, you may join our tribe in celebration of union. You already passed our test in your eyes, in your sovereignty. The rest is up to you. Ah, so they are not looking Margaret out. If we do that, we may automatically in the time seeking knowledge. Dangerous. Indeed. I confirms. Then I accept and declare boldly with no further hesitation. So this is literally what the US if they would teach them. Yes, if they accept them. So if the Magi went down with their floating cylinders of magic and technology, they would not be given any kind of teaching.
Probably not. But someone like Margaret did approach them with the way. Abandoned technology actually shows that a willingness to learn. Learn the way. I guess you thought that maybe they'd reject her just because she lacks a cutie mark, and therefore, yeah, cut Kelly also.
I mean, once again, this is gonna be the thing that now, who you are more of leaning towards for? Are you gonna report everything to reactions, or are you gonna keep something to
Yeah,
yourself?
you might predict that could be an issue that's gonna come up soon. The party might even ask her that. What are you gonna tell them? Because she just learned some information that she might not have been aware herself. Like, your commander is an alien from another time, and from basically a hostile race.
Yeah, from what I gather, Rex is a cyborg. And
Yeah.
even though they stopped all technology from working,
You know, it's probably pretty clear to you right now. The reason he's a cyborg is because he's a war veteran. He lost many body parts because of the war, but not severe enough to kill him, and therefore force a regeneration.
yeah,
He's just clinging. He's clinging on to the one life as far as he can, and potentially it might even be his last life. When you're in the
yeah,
front lines of a dangerous conflict like that, that's what probably tends to happen.
I mean, they don't know what the last life is.
Well, it's
They
12.
feel it,
It's
but
it's 12 lives, and they usually keep count unless they for some reason forget it.
I mean, there are always exceptions. Look at the doctor,
Mhm. Yeah.
who literally went over the timeline multiple times.
Yeah, that particular point about mentioning the number of lives that the doctors, I'm sorry, the race could have was considered a mistake by the writers, who was hoping the audience would forget that, but they did remember, like, and that kind of locked them into the corner, making this show staff thinking, "Oh shit, what happens when we actually do reach the 12th life? Do we
You,
like stop the show or what? Or should we just invent some bullshit excuse to get around it?"
you know what? There is also one more thing. I think the
What?
12 life was invented by the higher of the Time Lord.
Hmm.
Because if you are a Time Lord, you can create as many times as you want. But if you have a knowledge that, oh, you only have 5 lives, you might actually stop your reincarnation. Unknowingly. As
Hmm.
you said, everyone keeps counting how many lives they have left.
Yeah, there was proof of that in the show, but just before the doctor shot someone, he asked him, "What number are you on?" And reluctantly, the person answered.
Because they counted.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, what'd you think of this chapter? I was actually looking forward to your reaction to this.
Hmm,
I knew that it was kind of on the longer side past that first scene break because it's dialogue heavy between multiple participants.
it's fine. That's absolutely fine.
But
Margaret
it gave
hadn't
some
said anything, by the way, the
Mm.
whole time. I tell her like that. And as I said, I don't trust reactions too much. And now I trust him even less because I believe that he might be able to plant some mini video recording device on Market, which is still running, and show everything that is happening.
Yeah,
Screen.
you got a point there. And doesn't necessarily she's going to be aware of that.
Yeah, and
She
it.
turned off she turned off all the technology that she was aware of. But if there was one hidden on her, it's not her fault that it's still recording.
Yeah, the only way to actually find it would be to carry it told on the Ashamlan as well.
An interesting point you kind of made is the fact that she's quiet. Well, that's a little out of character for her too. She's usually the one that's asking a lot of questions because she's a very curious scientist, right? Except now she's keeping her mouth shut. Um, Now you could think of a bunch of reasons why that might be true, but among them might be if she speaks up, she's worried that she might ruin the negotiations. It could also be that Daring instructed her just before they entered the village, "Let me do the talking for you," because you might screw it up. The those below have less respect for those above right now, so that might be another reason why she's holding her silence. But you
I
might
mean,
be able to think of.
that was not established at the moment.
Mhm.
But she definitely
It could
seen that this is very much different to reception what they gave to the others.
could also be she's stunned silent as a result of receiving shocking news.
We can go into very stupid theories again, that she is not even Margaret. It's it's an android that's made to look like Margaret.
Interesting.
But no,
Or
I don't believe that because of the first part that she was not fully accepting the order from the Ering in the beginning.
I almost thought you were gonna say she might be trouble in disguise.
No, no.
Hmm.
Trouble might be there, but she doesn't need to be this guy. She can just go invisible.
Um, but what on account for what the village tribesmen had said, do you believe them?
On what?
A bunch of things. The purpose of trouble, the fact that the chaos beast was created by someone among those above. They alluded to the fact that someone in there was an alien from another time period. Um,
You know what?
so yeah, lots of
N-
things.
They never said that you are right. It was him.
Hmm.
They gave hints, and they went to the conclusion that, oh yeah, it's relative. But they never said that. Yeah, there might still be someone else.
It's almost as if they try to guide others to a correct answer instead of outright telling them.
I mean,
That's
they
almost.
literally learned the way from Matt,
Uh-huh.
who in turn
It,
guiding as well.
it's kind of like a philosophy to teach a man to fish instead of just giving him a fish.
I mean, no, it's a better way of learning. Because I remember that there was one teacher literally taught uh, how to use the Excel. Click here, and it's done. And with that, you never learn it, by the way.
Hmm.
I mean, you will be able to do it, but you will never learn what you are doing. Now, so that's why my mother had a lot of problem learning the new Excel as well, because every freaking Microsoft Word and Excel and everything else, the whole office looked different and everything was moved.
On a different subject, I like the group that your shirt is based on too.
Yeah.
I recognize it and I like them. Yeah.
So this is way before this is all. Yeah, this is when the main singer was still there. I think I got this like 12 years ago or even more.
Okay, I can accept that. I believe they were around that long too.
But yeah, I like my hair. He is showing respect and not forcing everyone out. And I respect that decision of not joining the war. Because why would they? They don't really have a reason.
Yeah,
I could
that
go
is
into
not
politics right now, but I won't.
that is not their way. Another thing that's revealed in this chapter, but towards the later part of it, is they're aware of the great sage Mesetalar. Yeah,
Even you stumble upon your
yeah.
own words.
Well, I'm not looking at the spelling. It would have helped. Um,
Yeah.
Mesetalar or something like that. Um, so yeah, he's here too, and that suddenly got Daring Do's interest. So much so that she was even willing to join the tribe just for the privilege of meeting him. But this should be the past version of him. In that case.
when you say Manasana, it sounds like this.
Well, sure. It's kind of a serpent, so it's a serpent-sounding name.
I mean, it's a serpent like name.
Mm. But something like that was the inspiration behind the name. Thematically, that is.
I mean, we don't even know how it sounds like in the old language because it was not second.
That's true. I mean, they kind of have different shapes to their tongues, so the sound might be sound different too.
Yeah. I mean, we know that even the tribes people back there were not really talking, more like hissing.
So, what'd
Remember
you think of
the...
this chapter? What'd you think of this chapter?
I think this is definitely the way.
You like the tribe and their culture, which
Yeah.
is I tried to make very obviously different from those above.
I mean, they obviously are. Especially with the nomadic nature of their lives.
Hmm. Tried to put an emphasis here how they could be respectable in their own way.
I mean, they are literally in the way that... Ah! Come on! Who cares? She doesn't travel. If she shows up and makes a mess, we can just move to another location.
And this tribe puts a difference between like the Earthbound here and the Earth ponies on the Water World. The one in Water World, I try to emphasize to be extremely mundane in the way they act and react to the world around them. But this tribe is wise, very learned in a nature kind of way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they are very much warm in nature.
Hmm.
You know what? I believe that they usually commune with the Karen, who show themselves for a therapy.
Yeah, I that's quite likely.
I mean, they even mentioned the high above that uh, they are they have their own magic in a spiritual way.
Right, something that those above didn't quite understand. They're mystical, but we can't explain how they are.
And also it's funny how uh, for them they might not even know it's a question mark what they have. They might just see they have tribal tattoos all over their body, even their flag.
Right. They might think it was chiseled onto them, the acuity mark, the same way the rest of their body art is.
I
And
mean,
it's not totally established here if the acuity mark began naturally, but then they started painting around it, or did their original acuity mark grow to that degree?
I assume it's the second one.
Okay.
As I said,
That
they are
you know,
more in union with the question mark. They have a higher understanding.
right. It's a ritual magical environment, and they're heavily connected to nature
Yeah.
and themselves, and they have more time to learn about themselves. The lifespan of every life form in this world is increased.
And you even said yourself you are thinking about what Maoni or Moana? I don't remember.
Mohana.
Moana, yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Moana. That's the right one.
Yeah,
Now I'm
no,
talking about that god, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Now I forgot his name.
Research.
I'll definitely recognize if I hear it.
Maui.
Okay, right. I believe one of the islands is named after him.
Yeah. So, in his way, the tattoo was literally added on magically.
Hmm.
But literally nothing solves the point is here to add extra paint over as well.
Yeah. It really could be a mixture of both. I mean, both theories really do have credit in this kind of situation.
I mean, in a sense, it is harder for them to have tattoos because they have fur.
Right. It still
So
somehow works though.
that's
Always do.
why I assume it's more like magical.
I remember we came up with this discussion before too. What happens to a pony's cutie mark if you shave them?
I believe it is fully on the flank as well.
Hmm. Okay.
I don't believe it's just a fur. It's but you can think that still there, no matter what you
But
shave.
very likely includes the fur too, so that it's.
Yeah.
You're saying it's going to stay visible no matter what, unless you
Uh,
cover it.
unless you cover it, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be funny if it was shown even when they have clothes on.
Actually, I can think of another situation where the cutie mark just was like when Starlight turned invisible along with Trixie.
Yeah, what if you just saw a floating cutie mark?
Then that'd be a situation worthy to cock your head in curiosity about.
It will be a situation like this.
Yep.
Instead with the merman. But yeah, I'm gonna be curious what manga does from here on. Also,
Mm, right.
why is there no seeing out mess? It almost sounds like that getting the flower was a secondary goal. And seeing out mess was the first goal. The primary goal to begin with.
Well, it seems like that, wouldn't it? But she only recently learned that Mesocenthalar would is available here. When that she learned that, she became strongly interested. But what initially drew her to this time period was the cure.
I mean,
But it's now like she can do something else as well. Something that's she's strongly interested in.
but remember
I'm being,
she met the Swedes, and the Swedes is very much knowledgeable as well.
hmm,
Not only about where she might find the cure, but also where she can find meth.
hmm.
She might not have known that it is from the time, but it can be like the Swedes saying, what you see, you will find in the time period way behind. There, you will find more secure and less better, which I can much better than him.
Well, yeah, she doesn't have to ask him about where the cure is. She's already got a sample. So, as a guess, what do you think is the reason Daring Do is suddenly interested in seeing the Great Sage?
I have also no
By
idea, by the way.
the past version of him too. At that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. Well then, it's something to look forward to find out in some future chapter.
That's why I said I don't know why she would do it. And once again, I said it sounds like it is just it was the primary goal, not the flower.
Well, she already has a sample of that, so that issue is
Also,
no longer as urgent.
he didn't mention this part to the doctor. He might know about it.
Know about what?
Also, about the ICD math out.
Hmm.
Also, might be because she is one of the knights, remember? It might
Knights of
be
the
one
Air
of
Wasp?
the quests. I
One of
assume
the
it.
quests of the Knights of the Hourglass?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's quite possible. She's certainly aware of them and might even be an outright member of them.
I mean,
During her,
she is.
during her, Daring herself says that she doesn't like to travel through time, but she is interested to protect history from being tampered with. And that's one of the goals that the Knights of the Hourglass have. So, yeah, since their goals were aligned, she decided to team up with him, at least as a contact.
I mean, that might be one thing that maybe have her something to Matt later on, and she gives to the past to warn him.
It's been a long time since Daring Do met that individual, though. She was quite young the last time she encountered him. She had plenty of time to think about stuff since then.
Yeah? It could also be like, ah, you know that a young fella is gonna come 100 years later from here.
Could be, but
Wait, no.
the fir-
Uh, but why is what is Matt doing here? Wasn't he in another continent to begin with, where dinosaurs were roaming around?
actually, that's a hint that this is the same continent that Daring explored in the future.
Something
Um,
messed up because
but in this time
we
period,
never seen
there
any
was
dinosaurs. Oh my god, come on.
well, yeah, there's no dinosaurs, but the Great Sage is just that ancient. He lived throughout all that time, all the way up to the present for Daring and probably beyond that. The first time she encountered him too, he also mentioned the fact that he thinks with non-linear time.
Yeah.
So, regardless of the fact that this is the past for the world, he actually might still recognize her from the future.
Okay, new theory. One, we know that the Earth police parasite and everything went back to Earth here later on.
Uh huh.
And they became less warm with nature, but still causing negative marks. It is definitely the same Earth police and
Yeah.
parasite.
Yeah.
This land was probably uninhabited for a long time, except for the chaos creatures, who we assumed were dinosaurs.
Hmm. All right. That's an interesting theory.
Or the other part, which is back to the war theory, that remember what they said about the next World War is gonna be instead fought with 6 and souls because everyone died at the time. That should be as well here.
In this chapter, Feather's guess was Commander Varaxis secretly engineered the Chaos Beasts to attack the. Actually, those below initially. Those above were supposed to guard them, so they should have stepped in to thwart the attempt, but that didn't happen. Next, he had, according to Feather's guess, have Varaxis had the Chaos Beasts attack those above directly, and they still didn't join his war, although that did got more of a reaction out of them.
It
Um,
backfired more way than he thought it would.
and as a result of the two failures, in frustration, he's like, okay, since those above are not joining me, I'll ask those below to recruit for my war. And they also said no. But with a greater
Oh, how
aware,
wonderful.
but those below, the Earthbound, had a greater awareness why he was asking them to join his war.
Yeah, it's funny how also they know who made the chaos beast.
Right.
So yeah, he literally, okay, I'm those above are actually worthless and they don't want to do anything. So I'm gonna make them do anything by making chaos creatures to attack the one that they are defending. Oh wait, they are not defending them anymore because they are lazy. Okay, then I will ask the one that I attacked with the chaos creatures if they want to join me. No, we won't not for annoying you because you're making a chaos kitchen to begin with.
So yeah, he's just being cornered on all sides, and I wanted to make it very clear in this chapter that these are not stupid primitives that don't know anything. They're
No,
actually very knowledgeable and wise characters.
I would say they are more knowledgeable than the Magi of above.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
towards the end, it was revealed something that might have given a hint. What helped to evolve this tribe was they know the Great Sage, and that is very sacred knowledge to them.
not just the gay stage, they know the way as well.
Uh huh.
They know that the Magi are not gods, and they are not really mm, acting like gods either. Which is not true,
They
they are kind of acting like gods of the expansion
yeah
who do nothing.
they those above, below used to worship those above, but since then they kind of grew up.
Yeah, they grew up and believe that, oh wait, Santa isn't here. They were looking out the window.
Oh yeah, dogs do that. I've seen them do that. Stick their heads out of the cars too. You have one.
But yeah, it is gonna be interesting to see how things
Okay.
fall out. What is their planning, what is Morgan's planning,
Mm-hmm.
and how will Versus act like if he finds out that that his plans are ruined once again.
Well, he knows they work for the doctor, and he did begrudgingly say that those who follow the doctor can be surprisingly effective. So theoretically, you might think that from Vrax's perspective, he believes that this crew is eventually going to learn his identity. What do we got? Oh, they're blasting off again, huh?
Yeah,
Must
damn
be all that
you.
rocket fuel.
So yeah, we may see. That it's gonna be a problem that Versus is gonna try to get the knowledge as well.
Mm.
For all we know, even if he didn't put mineral feed or anything on that, they might still have a tracking device on them.
Perhaps, but
I do believe that he doesn't trust Margaret as much either.
right, but it might be the best person that he thinks this group might trust
Yeah?
from those above. So it's very likely the reason he gave her to them is they might reject everyone else.
Then once again, this is the thing that yeah, I'm trusting you guys for now. And I will give you something that you trust. What if that trust is betrayed?
Do you
By
remember
the
back at you initially said you trust Varaxis because he made such a great argument about why it's important to raise self-defense, and if the society above is not cooperating, to help recruit those below so that they can train them better how to defend themselves.
I mean
That was
that
his
part
argument.
is it's fine on its own. But we didn't know how if they need. It doesn't seem like that they are oh no, we fear the chaos kitchen. It doesn't seem like that.
Yep. They,
Because
the
how we painting the picture is that yeah, they are the fastest and they need the fighting.
right
They need
when
training.
when they spoke of the Chaos Beast, you're noticing they're not panicking or freaking out or anything like that. It's more like they accept the Chaos Beast now as a new part of nature, a challenge that they must face and overcome. You're
Yeah,
probably right that some of them have cutie marks about defeating some of the chaos beasts that are taming them.
you know what? I believe that the chaos beasts are acting like normal animals. That if you don't want them into the territory, don't want them into the breeding ground or anything, they don't attack.
Yeah, that could be true. If we're now establishing this as a very wise society, they may adjust their approach in a way that's potentially far more effective.
What I said that, oh, if someone comes, then we can just move. Remember?
And by the way, if you're right, that's just another plan of Roxas that backfired.
Yeah. I believe the very first set of Akira's creatures were very much just violent, and then nothing animalistic about them. But as time went on, they became one with nature and actually took part in the system. But yeah, this is my place, I'm gonna be here, and that's my territory.
Well, those who know the way can be very effective.
And I mean, they are not like the game. They don't want to hurt anyone that much. That, oh yeah, all we do is hurt and destroy and everything.
Okay,
Even though
understand.
I'm pretty sure I kind of made the same for the Manticore. That it is almost like a game. Because of its looks and probably even the abilities.
It was heavily implied in equestrian lore, although very late into it too, that beasts like the Manticore was probably engineered by the father of monsters.
Yeah, and I remember I told them that this was one of the sons of
I remember that.
them as well, which was sorted very heavily.
It, and I couldn't completely dispute you. I mean, if I reject everything I knew about what was going to happen, it looks like you're right, because the Discord was just amalgamation of a bunch of other races stuck together, which strongly resembles a lot of the monsters they face.
I mean, in your world, we cannot say because in your world it seems like Trouble is the ancestor of Discord, or is Discord at the same time.
At least member of the same race. Um, Probably a lesser version of it.
I mean, it could be another one of. It might be Discord's sister, probably no.
Hmm, could be, yeah.
But yeah, I don't believe Trouble is that dangerous.
Look at that
She is
shifty eyes
dangerous,
of.
but
Look at that shifty eyes of trouble. She
yeah.
knows a secret, and she's not gonna tell you.
I mean,
But might taunt you with it.
she didn't accept that. Yeah, this is my monster. I'm gonna summon it right here.
Right. Um, Again, that was leaning on with Feather's theory that Varax is the actual one who created it, but he blamed Trouble for it. And Trouble was like, okay, I'll take it. I'll take the blame.
Also, there are literally multiple Pokemon who are created like that as well. You
You're right.
know one of them who is very much known.
Yeah. Certain Pokemon are engineered. Or recreated from an extinct species.
I mean, the one who everyone knows is Mewtwo, that it was created.
Right.
But there is
You know what?
one who is more like a Manticore. I don't remember how to write his name. Ah,
That would probably be a problem.
it is Silvally. It is literally Chimera Pokemon.
You know, that one was in the other fic we were reading. In
Yeah,
fact, like Mewtwo, a unique Pokemon. He's the only one of his race.
yeah, because
Because
it was
yes, he was engineered.
yeah.
Hmm.
And once again, I don't know much about the Ultra Beast and other stuff.
I kind of forgot what Pokemon type it has. Either it was like all of them or maybe normal.
No, I think he has every. I don't know. Once again, I don't say Sailor Moon.
Okay.
But yeah, that has been it.
Okay.
So only 2 hours long. So
About average length then, leaning a little bit on the longer side. But we had a whole bunch of discussions too, as usual.
yeah. So yeah, that's it for today. The next earning is gonna be in 4 days.
Okay.
Uh, I mean that without the justice as well. There's not gonna be after the justice.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
as I
that
said,
was
I'm gonna do that only one after the justice, but it's longer.
okay.
But
I
yeah,
didn't know that. All right, go ahead.
thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.